All right. The four of you are planning to do something that is not a quest, and actually, one of the guild directors told you explicitly not to do it. So, here we are, four of you, the criminal masterminds, meeting up in Wavecrest to conspire. So you're here. You're all here in Wavecrest. Here you are.
Alright, so what's the plan to get in there? Don't we know about a generator or a manufacturer that might get?
I'd like to involve as few people as possible outside of the four of us. I mean, how much do you want to tell him? Because he's gonna want to know.
I mean, isn't it in his job description as smuggler to be discreet?
I suppose.
Well, you spot Riker chilling in town nearby. He's not in earshot. He's like over on the other end of town, but you spot him quietly counting some coins if you wanted to go talk to him.
I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, by all means then.
Anybody see no harm?
Hey, how's it going? Hey. Business is good. What do you need? Thanks, people. Huh? Well, I don't really talk to your party or the guild at all, really, unless I have to. So, I get you. Nah, my lips are sealed. Huh. Well, you know, I'm up for it, but I'll tell you, I don't really think there's much of an Undercity. At least not one that I'm aware of. It's basically just a solid island. Unless there's something down there I don't know about. But there's caves on the sides, so I guess I could try to sneak you guys into one of the coastal caverns or something, and you could go from there.
Regal, based on what you saw, would a cave be able to get us there, or do we need to like go straight through the...
So what Regal saw was basically an island, like made of dirt and rock and like a normal island.
Okay.
But there was a haven ship in it, like under it, as though like the ship had become lodged there, and then over time, right, over like 1,000 years, sediment and whatnot had like built on top of it, and so the foundation of the island is a haven ship, but it is still an island now, like, so it's basically buried underneath.
I just hope that the cave entrance would be able to get us a way in. We don't know that. We don't know anything for sure, really.
I mean, based on what Reigel didn't see any like explicit entrance of any kind. It's possible you'll have to you might have to fucking dig your way in. There may not be any tunnel that connects to it at all. Like it might just be buried. You don't really know.
Do I know how deep it was from the surface?
Not too deep. Maybe like a good 40 or 50 feet of sediment and stuff, and then on top of that, of course, is the Shining Isle is built. The Shining Isle itself is very metallic. They have a lot of brass structures. They have roads and sidewalks and streets on top of that. So it would be difficult to dig down in the city proper because someone would probably be like, "What the fuck are you doing in the middle of the road?" I don't know.
Don't worry, pothole repair.
If we can get a start beneath the surface, it'll get us closer and out of eyesight.
So cave might just do it.
Maybe.
So it's none of my business, says Riker. Client confidentiality.
You're right.
Client confidentiality. Client confidentiality is a important to my professional integrity. But the fuck, it's an island. Is there a diamond mine down there I don't know about?
Yes.
All right. Well, awesome.
Well, we'd appreciate your assistance.
Absolutely. 100 gold round trip.
Per person?
No, total.
And is that the discounted rate after the quest that we took for you?
I
Or
paid
our
you
party?
for that. Why do you think I owe you for services rendered? You were paid full for that quest.
Oh, come on, what about the old good time boy discount?
Because I hired you to do one job and you did it?
Yeah, that means we're best friends.
I think 100 gold between the four of us is more than agreeable.
And honestly, it's 5 because you got a big fucking tiger right there.
I'm not accounting for the tiger.
Reigel pulls out his pockets and he's like, I got 7.
It's alright, when this diamond mine pays off, we'll be rich. We can cover.
I mean, that's basically 20 gold per
25.
per person, including the tiger.
Snowball's not paying.
20 gold per medium creature round trip, so it's 10 gold there, 10 gold back per medium
Snowball's
creature.
a small creature, so...
I also only have 5 gold, but I'm sure I can borrow from my other character sheet.
Zara can lend some out. I've been hoarding some money on her.
So yeah, it's 25 per person.
So Zara has no problem paying her 25. Does anybody else need a loan?
Freya will pay 40 of it.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Okay, never mind. I don't need to loan anybody anything.
So 25 and 40 makes 65, which means there's 35 left.
Right. I can pay 35.
Regal, how much you got?
Reigel's got 7.
I paid 35.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Cool.
I have paid
We
my
just
fair
had-
share. I owe nobody nothing.
We paid the weirdest ass distribution of money ever. 100 gold, but we got
25, 40, 35.
Hey, 40 covers both Snowball and Freya. That's 20 each.
Hey,
That's
nobody's
true.
complaining.
That's true.
I was very, very generous.
Nobody's complaining.
Freya paid for Snowball, basically. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Like I said, with the diamond mine, will be worth plenty of money.
By that notion, Regal pays less because he's smaller.
You didn't
It-
pay
you-
anything.
You pay
Exactly.
by mass. All right.
We're all
Regal will
medium
give-
creatures.
Well,
Reigel will give 5 gold to Freya.
Oh. Thanks.
we
You don't
appreciate
have
you
to
doing
know.
this for us, Regal. I know, Riker. Goddamn.
The Regal! The Regal
Tiger.
gets a thank. Thank you,
No-
Regal.
No
For being
problem.
so
Not
great.
all goblins look the same. I take offense.
It's 2 R names. I deal with this problem a lot in our party. Regal,
All right,
Regal,
let's
Ray,
get you
Rillian.
guys set up. So he pulls up a big crate and he's like, "The tiger can probably fit in here. Can you
Right.
get your tiger in here?"
Yes. Snowball, go in the box.
Meow. Snowball's already in the box. It fits and sits. So he creates a snowball. He pulls out 3 barrels, and he's like, "All right, the 2 elves and the pretty lady should be able to kind of hug their knees in here, yeah? Okay.
I don't like
See-
being smushed into a barrel like I think a bunch of turnips.
All right. Well, sorry, but you know,
What,
You
so
don't
does he
want-
get to ride lap luxury? You point to Regal.
I haven't gotten to him yet."
Huh?
And then he pulls out a treasure chest. It's like, "You'll fit in here, little goblin."
Fine.
If I'm gonna be in here like a bunch of turnips, you can be at least the heart of the treasure. They'll open it up and be disappointed like I am when I
Anybody who opens this chest up is gonna be real disappointed.
disappointed.
Adventurers besiege the ship.
Take
Ah,
over the
finally the treasure chest. Can't wait to see what's inside.
It's Regal,
It's a
like,
fucking goblin.
with a gun.
It's a goblin with a gun just waiting, like,
Ah, booby trap!
Goddamn door.
"You close the box right now."
I'll fucking kill you.
Pointing the gun at him like, you didn't see anything.
Mm. So you guys are, you feel the boat rocking. You're on some kind of ship. You're sailing. But you're all, like, you know, in darkness. So it's a bit of a boring trip.
Well, during the trip, Zara can be heard like muttering to herself in her barrel and like fidgeting.
Mm.
Does this thing of air holes?
I mean, yeah, you can get air. You'll be fine.
You hear the occasional bang, bang, bang. Fuck!
Everything alright in there?
Cramped in here. Can't work.
Why are you trying to work in a treasure chest?
Because you assholes keep me busy all the time.
It's okay, Zara. It's just an enclosed space. Nothing's actually going to happen. It's a totally irrational fear. You've dealt with this before. She's like bang on the side of it every now and then.
After some time, after a few hours, he starts opening things up, and it looks like you guys are in some kind of some kind of a seaside cave, like a flooded cave on the side of the island.
Yeah, when Zara hears crates starting to be opened up and stuff, she'll actually more frantically start pounding on, like, let me out.
He gets everybody out. You get a look at his ship now. His ship is docked in this cave, like nearby. It's a squat little sailboat, but there are like scrolls and pieces of parchment with weird symbols on them, just like tacked onto like all over the mast, all over the sail, like all over the sides of the boat.
Can I try to decipher what those are
Yeah, give me an Arcana.
with my big brain?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty big brain.
Definitely seems you get the gist of it. It definitely seems like he purchased everything that's even remotely related to like protection from being detected or from divination, and just nailed all of it all over his ship. Probably half of them don't even work, but like the ones that do, allow him to get in here undetected.
Ah, clever. And I will do the same thing. I will cast my newly found 4th level spell. I mean by that I mean a 3rd level spell that I never used, so I thought it was 4th level. Not
Non-detection.
on myself.
Okay.
When we get
For
out,
8 hours.
nice.
Uh,
So when
when
Zara,
he sees.
that's our good.
So is that only? Is that self only? Is that KL
Yeah,
only?
it's only me. I'm casting it on myself. Yeah.
How many 3rd level slots do you have?
That takes up my free divination slot, so it doesn't
Okay.
really take any. But I have 4 total.
Riker goes ahead and says, like, y'all are being protected right now because you're near my boat, but as soon as you step away from my boat, you're gonna ping all kinds of shit. The Wizard Queen doesn't fuck around, so you might want to do something about that. Not that it's my problem. Now, if you want one of my handy dandy scrolls, some of them probably work, and I'll sell them to you for 50 gold each, and maybe the one I sell you will work. It's up to you. You can take your pick.
So you're saying as soon as we leave, we'll be detected, except for me, possibly, because of my non.
All I'm saying is that you're standing on a boat that I have painstakingly protected from divination, and the Wizard Queen and her archwizards are pretty anal about people coming onto their island that they don't know about. So you might want to take measures. And like I said, I'm willing to sell you some scrolls, but I can't guarantee they'll work.
Well, even if one of us isn't protected, won't it register as like an
Oh yeah, you definitely want everybody protected.
What about the tiger? Would that fall under protection with Freya?
There's a tiger in the
I
cave.
mean, they detect there's a fucking tiger on their island all of a sudden. That'd probably be pretty weird.
And Zara's like kind of like wiping her brow and like just trying to get herself composed.
I'm looking expectantly at the rest of you.
I don't know what you want from me. I'm broke.
I'm broke now too.
How much would these scrolls cost?
50 each. It's up
We
to you
don't know
to
if they
pick.
even work.
It's up to you to pick your scroll.
Kale, do you have
I don't know,
anything
guys.
that can save us some money?
Unfortunately, no. I didn't really think this would be an issue. I just was sort of paranoid for myself.
I'd be willing to say that with how intelligent KL is, he'd know that sneaking onto the Wizard Kingdom island would require the entire party to be protected from divination, because it's literally the Wizard Kingdom. Like, KL lived here. So I'd be willing to retcon your prepping if you want to prep, like, a party load of non-detection.
It would basically take all of my spells, all of my 3rd level spell slots. Yeah.
I mean, it's up to you. Or you can try to gamble on what Riker's selling.
Yeah, if I'd known, I probably would have figured that
You
out.
would,
Yeah.
you'd know. I mean, Kale would know that she watches everyone who comes in and out. Like,
Okay. Yeah, I'll cast it 4 times then and get rid of my mother spell.
okay,
I guess
So
5 times in total. Me and then the 3 other people in it.
you've got many 3rd level slots.
Yep. 1 free one, and then I normally had 3, but then I spell binded a 3rd, so it's gonna be 4. So yeah,
You
that's
spell
4
bond
plus-
another one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So 8-hour non-detection on everybody, and you don't have to. You could have like made Arcana checks to try to figure out which of Riker's scrolls actually worked and which didn't. But even then, 50 gold each is pretty harsh.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's the Wizard Kingdom. They've got magic set up fucking everywhere, like magic detection from coast to coast. So, Kale would absolutely know that this mission would require protection from that kind of shit.
Thank you very much for getting us here, Riker. I take it you'll be available to bring us back as well? The payment was round trip?
Yeah, I'll be waiting right here on my boat.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we?
I'll cast Mage Armor and step off the boat.
Alright. Roll me a counteract.
Alright, how does
Check.
that work?
You have to roll basically a spell attack.
Okay. Spell attack roll?
Yeah, basically. It's the same. It's not a spell attack roll, but it's exactly the same bonus. It
Oh,
uses all of the same stats. It's a counteract check.
Okay.
It's like your proficiency bonus.
Oh god.
plus your-
I'll use the hero point.
You're gonna hero point that? Okay.
Alright, well, it's just not a crit fail.
Jeez. This is not good.
And that's
All
my
of those spell slots. That's so
That's-
unfortunate.
that's my own hero point, right? Because we don't have a guild sponsored hero.
Yeah, correct.
And I can't reroll a reroll, right? I think we already knew that. Yeah, you can't spend like 17
Yeah.
points. Can't do a mark.
Well, as each person gets off the ship, you're gonna roll more of these anyway.
Okay.
So roll like for each roll for the rest of the party.
Alright, I'll go down the line. Goblin, Zara, Freya,
Okay. Cool.
At least they
Alright.
don't know Regal.
Regal. Thank God Regal's not around.
Yeah. Alrighty.
Pretty low rolls. I thought plus 15. That'd be
Ugh.
pretty sad.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
not good.
Only one above 10.
Seems like you goblins are suited for this non-detection.
Okay. You feel as though you succeeded all of your checks.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
How
But how would
counteraction
it work?
works? How counteraction works is on a failure, you still counteract the target if it's lower level,
Oh.
if it's a lower spell level. So they're not using they're using a second level or lower spell to detect intruders on this part of the island.
I guess if it's
Probably
mass
because you're in the
cast
middle
like
of-
that, then yeah.
Because you're in the middle of fucking nowhere. You're like all the way out on the edge where it's like there's nothing. So, yep. Crit fail would have given you away because if you crit fail, it just doesn't work. But even if you fail, you still counteract something that's lower level than your
Okay.
effect.
Cool.
Yep. This was
Where are we
basically
on the island?
this was basically just you couldn't crit fail. So the hero point did have to happen there.
So Riker, where the hell are we on this island?
You're way on over on like the west end of it.
And from what I saw before, do I know if the West End is where we want to be?
You know the ship is pretty much centered,
Okay.
so you probably just want to go east if you're
And
able
which way
to.
is east from here?
This way.
It's inland.
Yeah, just go inland,
All right,
away
let's
from
go.
the sea.
We'll take every down corridor we can, possibly.
All right, so you guys are in this cave under the Shining Isle. KL was narrowly able to protect the entire party from the prying eyes of the Archwizards. No doubt because they would not dedicate high-level magic to the outskirts of the island. Probably there's higher level detection, like more central to the city, especially like around the palace. But out here, it's like they probably just put up the bare minimum just to ping if some pirates showed up or some bullshit happened like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to cast it over such a wide net. You have to really spread your resources.
Right. They couldn't afford to use high-level resources out here. So yeah, you guys move forward, and KL, you feel as though your non-detection is holding for everybody. Although, you feel as though your own personal non-detection they almost caught you.
Yeah, it's like the
Like-
first time I've ever cast a spell, so like messed up incantation.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope that's good.
So, some guy in the palace was like, "Wait, is that Huh. Another dude like, what's up? No, it's just a blip in the system. Like,
Just a sensor glitch. I'm sure it's nothing.
He went to
Yeah,
go get
yeah.
coffee the second it pinged.
yeah, exactly. Like, it's nothing. Yeah. So you guys begin to travel through this wet, dark cavern, and pretty soon you're heading in, like, deeper into the cave. You're getting away from the sunlight. So, fortunately, Freya, you can see by the light of your tiger's collar. So you're just kind of heading in, and you're just pressing forward. And before too long, the tunnel that you're following it kind of comes to an end. It's just like a natural cave formation. You're relatively certain this is the correct direction, but you've just run out of natural cave.
And there's no branching paths, no alternate passages.
No, this is the way to go. It's just the cave doesn't go further the way you need it to go.
Snowball, start digging.
Zara's gonna feel the dead end to see if it's an illusion.
It's not an illusion.
Okay.
The stone here feels very like it feels like the kind of sediment that would naturally gather over time. Like it's very high in sodium. It's like if you put something in the ocean for 1,000 years, it eventually builds up with like salt and sand and sediment builds up on top of it. So that's kind of what this is. So the stone is not very hard. This is not like bedrock. This is like ocean sediment that has kind of piled up over the centuries. So Snowball starts trying to dig through it. It's a little bit hard for a tiger to just dig with claws. He's making a bit of headway, but it feels like this is going to take a really long time.
Zara's gonna take out one of her daggers and see about.
Regal, did you bring shovels?
I bring everything, always.
That's what I was counting on. May I have
And
one?
he pulls out 2 bombs as well. He's like, "Is this what you need?"
Let's not risk the bombs. We'll just shovel.
We're not gonna go to the cave.
When Zara hits the stone with like the kind of salt stone with her dagger, she's able to like chip pieces off. Like it's kind of brittle. The stone is sort of brittle, but it's hard and brittle. So she's able to like chip pieces off.
Using the dagger like a chisel, almost.
Yeah, basically.
Alright.
What's Regal got for us?
Alright. I can make a shovel, I can make a pickaxe, I can make one of each. Let's see, what else can I make?
You could probably make. I mean, if you're looking at adventuring gear,
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
if you go down to like the higher level stuff, there might be
Is there an excavator in there?
like well, for example, the climbing kit comes with a bunch of shit.
Yeah,
So
I'm not seeing anything.
like
Like
digging wise.
Well, like Dungeoneer's pack.
Can I make a whole Dungeoneer's pack?
Doubt it, but I mean, like the stuff that's in it be useful.
I mean,
Dungeoneer pack
crowbar.
isn't the thing. It's not an adventuring gear. I
Okay.
searched. There's an adventurer's pack. Comes with. I think we should make it one item. These packs are ridiculous.
Looking
They're
at
jury rigging 8 things.
so
I can make a bedroll, 2 belt pouches.
tools.
10
There's
pieces of
there's
chocolate,
tools listed
steel,
on here.
50
It's like
pieces of
tools is a catch-all for basic hand tools that don't have a specific adventuring purpose. A hoe, shovel, or sledgehammer is a long tool. Hand drill, ice hook, or trowel is a short tool.
Cool. Is there like a really good version?
Tool. Let's see. Tool can be used as an improvised weapon, dealing 1d6 for a long tool. GM determines the damage type, what's appropriate, or adjusts the damage as needed. I don't see anything for advanced tools, but
Yeah,
It's
if there
long
was
or
a-
short.
oh, Sterling Artisan's tools. Those are level 3 though.
Oh, I can make level 3.
Yeah,
can
Sterling
make,
Artisan's tools.
It would give you a +1 item bonus. There
Or
you
sterling
go.
tools.
You always want to look at the higher level stuff because there's sometimes an opportunity to get a bonus. So yeah, you could make a sterling pickaxe, which would
That's
give a
what Dolgren
+1.
has.
Oh. All right, I'll make a sterling pickaxe and a sterling shovel.
Okay.
Or I could just do one and save the other use for later if we need it.
Maybe just do the one for now and see how it goes.
All right.
So who
turns
wants
around.
to?
Can Snowball do it?
Fre-
I think he's our
Freya's got,
strongest character.
Freya's got 16 strength.
Oh,
Yeah,
Freya's actually
Freya
really
will do
strong.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
very small.
Hashtag
Yeah.
small AI.
All right, Freya, give me an athletics check.
Did we go on
and then we'll
Zan's
give you a
different mic?
+1 item bonus.
Yeah, I think your
Oh.
mic messed
Oh,
up.
Zan did a mic swap.
You said athletics, right?
I think that's what he said before he did a mic swap.
Okay. Well, I'm just gonna roll athletics.
Nice.
25.
I think I unplugged my headset briefly.
Ah.
Did he?
Yes, you boy.
Oh.
Buddy.
Sterling tool.
But yeah, I don't know
Okay.
if...
Okay, so with the sterling pickaxe, Freya, you're able to really make some headway. You start just going in on that. Pickaxe is the perfect tool for this brittle stone wall, this like saltstone wall. A shovel actually might not have helped all that much. It's not really dirt. It's more.
I thought it
rock.
was that we gotta break it up and then we gotta move it.
That's true. You do kind of have to move it, but the rest of you can move it by hand without too much.
I'm seeing
trouble.
Freya just going ham with the pickaxe, like Zara, like with her dagger, just like.
I figure everybody else is just moving shit.
I'm not
basically.
digging at all. I relinquish physical labor, but I will use telekinetic projectile to
Projectile,
move
yeah.
the one
Okay,
bolt.
that's
I'm not
shit out of the
touching
way, yeah.
anything.
Nice.
I'm not getting these hands calloused.
Yeah, why would you need to when you have magic to do that for you?
That's exactly right.
All right. Well, finally, Freya's able to bust through the wall into a stone chamber that looks like this.
Mm.
You guys kind of bust your way into this cave.
Well,
Ah,
It's very wide and long. It goes off further than you can see with your dark vision.
this doesn't look like natural rock formations.
no, it doesn't. Regal's gonna go up and like feel the wall.
It definitely feels like it was excavated with some kind of device. The grooves in the wall are almost like the kind of it's almost like the grooves that were left behind when the dryads fired their lasers at you guys. When those lasers hit the wall or floor,
Oh.
it would leave grooves like this. So it's almost like they used that same kind of laser tech to excavate this cave out.
Hmm.
Is this where the ship was? Is it no longer here?
Is there a clear path that the cave follows?
Well, you can head toward what you think would be its center.
Okay, I'm going. Once we get closer to the center and make our way in, I'm gonna drain my staff to give myself a spell slot back, and then I'm gonna cast Locate. On oh, there you go. All you need to know about
you
Locate.
can drain your staff.
Yeah, that's what my bonded item is most
Didn't
of the
you
time.
use the bonded item for non-detection?
No, that was my one free spell slot for my divination.
You needed 5. How many third level spell slots do you have?
I had 4 plus my freebie is 5, so then I had to drain 1, which is giving me another one. So
Oh, you actually do get 4 third
Yeah.
level spells per day.
yeah.
Okay, nice. All right, you're good.
500 feet. I'm doing since it's not uranium, it's the artist formerly known as uranium. But it lasts forever. Oh no, yeah, it lasts forever. So I'm
I
just
mean, you
keep
can
doing
just say uranium. It's fine.
it. Alright.
All right. Within 500 feet. Okay, cool. So as you guys are traveling forward, it does seem like it was excavated out from a certain point. And as you approach that point, you see a part where the floor of this cavern is open, and there's something like a metal hatch tightly shut. And it looks like the excavation was done from that hatch moving outward.
Alright, does it have any obvious opening mechanism?
You don't see anything.
Ray, you've had some weird interactions with this sort of technology. Maybe if you go talk to the hatch, maybe it's a Sentinel hatch and it'll look...
Or touch it?
Freya will just try to open it. Like, just try to lift it. She's not gonna try to talk to it.
Okay.
Oh, that would have been so entertaining, though.
Well, when you touch it, nothing happens. It seems to not be... It's not like, it doesn't really have any, like, panels on it or any kind of high-tech stuff. It's kind of just... It's a metal hatch. It does look like predecessor tech, but it's just a hatch. It's pretty thick, too. Like, the kind of thing that's designed to take a beating or take, like, weapons fire and survive.
Can I open it?
When you try to lift on it, it doesn't budge at all.
Try just tapping it or touching it. Something...
Freya will, like, knock on the middle of it.
Hello?
Unfortunately, that doesn't actually do anything. It just makes a metal sound.
Try talking to it.
Hello?
No, talk to it in Space Elf.
Yeah, use Space Elf, say open sesame.
So, in Elven, she'll just say, hello?
With your whisper elf ears, you hear something coming. Something in the cave approaching the party.
Something's
Mechanical.
Sounds like one of those dryads, like something mechanical's coming.
Zara's gonna find a place to avoid notice.
And then you see this little dude, about 2 feet tall, coming along. It's got a pile of ore on its head. It briefly stops, stands a rock next to it, and then carefully laser cuts out a little piece of iron ore to add to its collection. And then it keeps heading towards the hatch.
Aww.
It's Dolgren bot.
Hello there? Freya will, like, try to wave at it.
It doesn't react to you at all. It goes right up to the hatch,
Oh, it's gonna open up. Go ready to catch it.
and then the hatch does open for it so that it can take the ore inside.
Everybody in!
Jump in.
Is that enough? Is there enough time for us all to hop in?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then yes.
Alright. So you guys,
Does this thing look better maintained than the Dryad units that we saw before?
yeah, it doesn't look dilapidated really at all. It looks pretty well kept. So after you guys enter, you find yourselves clinging to a sort of like metal ladder on one of these pillars. The robot just kind of attaches itself to a little bit of sort of like a pulley system and just slides down to the floor and then unattaches. And not long after, it disappears through a floor hatch.
Seems like some things down here are still active.
Something's still working.
Am I pinging any uranium?
Not yet.
Okay.
Man, I've got bad news. You can't find anything behind the lead, and I'm pretty sure uranium is typically stored behind lead.
Maybe they should have listened to that advice before their entire species got extinct. Maybe they didn't think of lead. I mean, we knew that and we're still around. Maybe they didn't know that. Maybe they tried like peanut butter. You know, what do I know?
Freya's
Twerp
just gonna
behind
start
you.
looking around, like, seeing if anything stands out.
Okay. Once you guys climb to the floor, you definitely see lots of openings but you're not really sure exactly what you're looking for. I mean, this seems to be the Haven ship that you're basically on top of now. It's like built into the cave above now, though. Like it looks like it's been changed. It's not like a ship that's in a cave. It's more like the ship has been, over hundreds of years, has been slowly modified to enable this like robotic excavation and gathering of resources.
They're probably doing something with those resources.
Interesting.
Perhaps expanding the ship, building upon it.
What was that thing we spoke to in the other Haven ship? Do you remember?
What thing in particular?
God, what was its name? It was like a hologram thing. Not that I know what a hologram is.
Yeah, the thing formerly known as a hologram. Yeah.
It was like the ship's computer.
Yeah.
Do
I
they
don't know
have
what
a
a
name
computer
for
is,
it, though?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all very weird.
I don't know. We talked to it. You know, the thing.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. I wonder if that's on one of the in this ship.
We continue to work our way down. Maybe we'll come across something of interest. Maybe follow our little diggy friend.
Something's giving them orders.
Yeah, I think we should follow the digger. Where it goes.
Okay. Well, you head down into the hatch that the digger took, and you find yourself in a kind of an older looking, more dilapidated sort of hallway. It doesn't look like this hallway is being used except by the digger, because there's like a very clear trail straight down the middle where there's like no dust, where this robot has been going back and forth. It always follows like exactly the same path. So there's literally like a line through the hallway of no dust, and everything else is completely caked in like dust and rust.
Freya will follow the path.
Where is this little guy going? They're excavating for a reason.
All right. As you're following the little dude, you start to pass by lots of big tubes and fans, and a lot of them are running. The fans are running, and there seems to be air being pulled through these tubes.
Why would these machines need air?
Maybe they were for the people before they.
Maybe it's got something to do with the chemicals in the air. You know, like oxygen specifically, maybe.
Or there might actually be living beings down here.
Maybe. Air can be a very useful material.
Finally, you reach this sort of door. You see the robot dump all the ore into a box next to the door and then scamper away. The box is then retracted into the floor. This box is barely a square foot, so nobody could like use that as an entrance. It's just where the ore is deposited. So the box lowers into the floor, empties the ore into some kind of room, and then comes back up to accept more ore. The door itself is solid metal. It again looks like blast proof, and it's all sealed up. There's dust caking every inch of this place, which implies the door has not been opened in a very long time. But there's something else that's kind of interesting. There are very slight burn marks on the door and some of the pipes around it. And there's like smudges on the walls, like ash, especially like a couple of circular ones on the floor, like radiating out. Kale, that looks a lot like magic to you. It looks like magic missile, fireball. It looks like a ton of evocation was hurled at this door, like a long time ago. And it doesn't look like it did jack shit to get through it.
Our first time someone stumbled across this door.
Like a lot of evocation was thrown in here to try to open this thing and did not succeed. But it looks like it happened a really long time ago.
Freya, do you want to try your magic touch again?
Yep, do magic touch.
Yeah, that works so well in the hatch. She'll go up to it kind of slowly and like look around, and then slowly like kind of put her hand on the door and like knock or something.
The door, the edges of the door light up, and you hear an electronic voice that says, "V-Pass not accepted. This is an A-sector vessel."
I don't know what a V-Pass is, but tell it to open up. You're the space princess after all. I'm sure you have clear.
Open up.
The lights go out and the door goes silent.
Alright, maybe we need to find this V-Pass?
It said the V-Pass wasn't accepted because this is an A-class vessel.
So, V-Pass? Freya's looking at her hand, just very confused.
And
Perhaps Freya was from a V-class vessel.
Kale, why don't you go give it a shot?
So we need to find an A-pass.
you think that I'm gonna be accepted into this weird space? I'm not a weird space elf.
I don't know.
Well, you are from this region, which originated from this ship, as we understand it.
Who am I to
Anyway,
turn down a chance at science? And I'll go up and just like put my hand on the door and say, "I'm Kale, Master of Divination. Open up."
Nothing happens at all.
That robot at the temple called Freya a name. What was it again?
Princess Mononoke.
I do not recall.
It called you Freya Azaria.
Did it use a title when it gave me that? When it called me that, or did it just call me
Princess.
Princess? Yes. Lovely.
Yeah, you were Princess Freya Azaria.
So very slowly, Freya will put her hand back on the door and be like, "I am Princess Azaria. Open up."
Alright, we have no idea when this ship came from. When it was made, they might not even have known that you existed.
It might even have been from another world before the one before this one.
A voice comes from the door that doesn't sound recorded. It sounds like a man, and it's kind of on the older side, and it says, "Be gone from this place, or you will be annihilated by its curse."
I think the door talked back.
I
Fran,
need to
say
know,
something.
what is this place? Like, where is it from? Why does this react to me?
This is a cursed place. You will find nothing here but death. Be gone.
Well, we've come way too far to turn around now.
This guy sounds like he's full of shit.
Maybe we could talk him.
Don't open up.
Yeah, talk him. Use your womanly wiles to have him open up the door.
Please open the door. I just want to know what this is. I just want to understand.
Haven't you people learned? You will find nothing here but death. Be gone!
Why don't you tell him everything you know about where you came from, Freya?
Listen, all I know is I was raised in the woods by a half-orc, only to find out later that apparently I was frozen or defrosted from one of these vessels. I grew up in this world, but apparently I'm from this ship or the other ship. I don't really know. One of your machines called me princess, and it's been confusing me ever since.
There's a long silence. Then the response is, what is your name?
Freya.
Freya.
Freya Azeria.
How
Princess.
did you know that name?
That's what the machine called me. One of them, at least. They called me Princess Freya Azaria.
Even if I open this door, you'll just get yourself killed. I can't shut off the defense.
I'm like, we can handle ourselves. Open the door. Please. We won't go down that easily.
After another long silence, the door slowly begins to slide open, like creaking with all this dust falling.
Reigel gets a mutagen ready. Freya. Freya.
What?
What's the bonus on your bow now?
Okay, 17?
No. What rune you got? Potency
rune? +2 striking.
Ah, this won't do you any good then, sorry.
I've only got +1.
This is for ranged attacks.
Ah.
Do you have any ranged attacks?
I do throw things. I don't think that counts though.
Does that count as a ranged attack? I don't honestly know.
Yeah.
Here you go. If you want it, it's yours.
Is this the one that reduces max HP?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna be frontlining here, I think.
So the door opens,
Here, take this one. It's a juggernaut.
and inside, it looks like this. Clean, white, no dust. There's a couple of tiny robots cleaning the walls.
Wow. This is
Whoa.
very pristine. Can you link me the stats on that Juggernaut potion again?
It's so shiny. Freya's gonna like just touch the wall and feel it.
Feels very smooth and plasticky. Like an enamel.
Zara's gonna keep that mutagen in one hand.
The hell is this? I've never seen something like this before. This doesn't make any sense.
It's so
What is
clean.
it made of?
Very well kept.
He's gonna like inspect like all these screens and stuff.
You don't have the context to interpret their data, but they seem to be saying something. Measuring
man.
something.
What does all this say?
You don't receive a response.
Freya will just keep walking down the hall.
Okay, when you pass through the first little circular sort of reverse archway there, I need you to give me a reflex save from Freya.
Oh.
Okay, you crit it. So Freya is able to basically take a step back just in time before lasers just slice through, like a clean plane of lasers slice through that area that you are about to pass through.
Oh,
Ah,
Be triggered by some kind of motion sensor.
interesting. Regal, KL?
I mean, I've got a couple invisibility spells, but not enough to get all of us through all of the laser.
Can I see how this thing works, Sam?
Well, from where you're standing, it looks like she was about to go through it. She like pushed her ankle between the two black semicircles, and then suddenly lasers started coming out of the black, like as though the black is some kind of like a one-sided mirror or something. The lasers were fired from it to create a sort of wire mesh wall there. Freya was able to get out of the way in time. Afterwards, the wire mesh, like, turned off.
Regal's gonna throw some junk through the arch.
All right. Well, the junk gets diced into little pieces by the laser mesh. Every time something passes through, the laser mesh lights up.
okay.
So
Zara
now
wants.
there's a
Sorry.
bunch of smoking cubes of junk on the other side.
Zara's gonna take one of her kukris, old weapon she doesn't use anymore, and she's going to like pass the handle through that area, but like as slowly as she can manage,
Okay.
to see if that sets it off.
Well, as soon as it passes between the black bars, the lasers happen.
It's like chips off a piece of the hand. Like okay, so
Like
it's not
like
a matter of speed.
instantly. Yeah, as soon as there's something between them.
Any way to disable the laser grid through any of these like buttons or knobs? And
He
I
said
mean,
he
you can start
couldn't
just
disable
hitting
the
things if
security.
you want, but
Let's wreck the place.
everyone,
Let's not.
this button looks
Freya-
good.
Freya will start like investigating. Like, there's this little panel here and this one here. See if she
yeah.
can make any sense of anything.
Unfortunately, you just don't have the context to even try to like figure out what this stuff does.
Freya, tell it to deactivate.
Deactivate?
Yes.
Unfortunately, nothing happens.
No,
Shake my head-
you gotta
shake
be
my
more
head.
confident. You have to tell it to deactivate, not ask it to deactivate.
I command you to deactivate.
That's better.
Is it though?
Stick my head in. Now, I could make someone invisible. I don't know if invisibility would trigger a motion sensor. That would let one of you go freely through if it doesn't detect invisibility. But then I don't know if there's like a lever on the far side you can pull and then it'll turn them all off. Like, I don't know how this works. So there's gotta be a way around it for like the crew.
Yeah, looking on the far side, what do we see past this entranceway?
You can see it. You can see it in the picture. It looks like there's the end of the hall. Then presumably there must be a door or a hallway to the left or the right, or maybe both ways that you can't see from here.
So we don't see a deactivation switch on the far side.
It looks just like the picture.
Okay.
I'll give it a try,
Zoom in.
Regal. And zoom, enhance.
I mean, if
If I make-
anyone's gonna go through there, it'd probably be best to be Freya.
Yeah, I have evasion, so.
I do too.
That and these machines seem to listen to you sometimes.
Sometimes, not all the
Well,
time.
The machines here haven't seemed to listen to it. I also have evasion though.
regular invisibility on Freya. Or maybe a visible creature won't set off the motion detector.
Now, don't be stupid. Don't just walk through it. Stick something through it while you're holding it.
Something
That way
you
the
won't miss,
invisible object.
like a pinky toe.
I'll
Like an
pull out an
arrow.
arrow and to see if it registers the invisible arrow.
It does not react to the invisible arrow.
Alright, I try to walk through it.
You're able to walk through without a problem.
Work?
Do I
Alright,
see
I'm gonna
anything?
turn them off.
Well, do you go all the way to the end of the hall?
Yes, I'll keep
Careful,
Okay.
they made up different traps. Be careful.
All right. You walk all the way to the end of the hall, and when you get to the end of the hall, there is a panel that has a red switch that is turned one way, and it says on and off on it. And
Ah,
it's switched on.
Alright, I'll flip the switch.
Alright, it's switched to off now.
I'll use that same kukri and try the.
It doesn't turn on for the kukri now.
All right, looks good.
Well, I'm feeling quite smirk of yourself to have invited me in this quest. I feel like I am crucial
You have been.
in this quest.
You have been very crucial, KL. Zara will try to pass through here cautiously.
Alright. Yep, you're able to get to the end, no problem now.
All right, cool.
Come on, Snowball, let's go.
Meow.
Alright,
Snowball
I
goes
will-
with you.
It's like riding on Snowball.
Alrighty. When you get to the end, there's a hallway that leads to where it bisects into actually several different places. There seems to be a kind of a sign up that indicates where some of these halls lead. That looks like there's a crew quarters, there's an armory, a bio lab, and a command center.
Do you have any interest in checking out the armory as I look at Regal carrying this like sniper rifle made out of the bits of the last ship? Do you have any desire to go to the armory? I'd like to go to the bio lab. That'd be kind of cool.
I'd like to go to the armory personally, yeah.
I'm not gonna object.
The princess has spoken.
I want to go everywhere though.
The invisible princess has spoken.
Don't call me a princess. Let's go.
As you wish, Your
Okay, Your
Highness.
Majesty.
Oh, come on, Freya. You know we're gonna have fun with this.
She wouldn't. It's not like I'm a princess from our world.
Alrighty, so as you guys walk along, pretty soon you emerge out into the ship's interior, which looks something like this. It's pretty big. It's pretty open. The same way as the Haven 12 had this too,
Mm-hmm.
where it was like very, very open on the inside, like a huge area. To reach the armory, you end up basically going along sort of like a scaffold bridge over this gap, and you reach a very large, very heavy door that seems to be quite secured. There's no switches or panels around it, and there's lots of warnings and caution all around the armory door.
Can we read the warnings and caution signs?
I mean, you're interpreting that they're warning and caution signs from the colors and font, but actually, anyone who speaks Elven and is trained in society can attempt to decipher.
I
Does
will. Oh, I'm not trained in Elven. Fuck me.
Okay. So, Kale, you're able to figure out roughly that the armory door can only be opened from the command center for security reasons.
Okay. Well, looks like we're gonna have to head back to the command center first.
Alright, so the bio lab is actually to your right. The command center is like back the way you came.
Looks like I'll get my wish this way, and I'll lead him to the bio lab.
Alright, you're gonna head over to the bio lab.
Yep.
Alrighty. So once again, it's a lot cleaner and more pristine than what you would have expected when you enter the bio lab. Little automated devices are moving vials of things around. There's a big glass tube in the center that looks like something might have been in it at one point. And there's lots of smaller glass containers holding fluid At the far end is something that looks kind of experimental. It's a device that has kind of like a big metal arm sticking out and curved. And there's a bunch of like fencing put up around this thing. And there's some signs that seem to roughly be something along the lines of do not touch or do not mess with this.
I'm just gonna look around and look at the different vials.
Alright. Cool.
What do you think's in here? He's like tapping on the glass, the big central thing.
Oh, it says
Yeah.
do not touch glass.
Freya's just gonna kind of look around, avoiding the big, weird-looking hand thing. And
Slab's bigger than yours, Regal. And shinier.
Yeah, no shit.
And nicer.
You know, one day I'll have a lab like this.
There's definitely a lot of chemicals available here, but again, without a scientific background, it's kind of impossible to tell what's useful or what you could get out of it. Snowball is sniffing the big thing in the middle.
Yeah, can we inspect the like do not touch or disturb metal claw thing more close?
Yeah, it's basically got a metal arm, and it's not like a person's arm. Like it's like a metal beam that comes out and is curved. And Snowball's also like sniffing it. As far as you can tell, there's just a bunch of stuff that says "Do not touch, do not mess with this."
Can I see its purpose? Does it seem to be like made for anything in particular?
It looks like the floor might open up under it.
Floor looks like glass. Can we see what's under the floor?
Well, this spot is one of the metal parts of the floor that opens up under it.
Is there any way to control the claw?
You're not really sure. Snowball licks it.
Snowball, don't lick things.
The device begins to light up. And then the claw grabs Snowball by the paw and the floor opens.
Uh-oh.
And it pretty rapidly starts yanking Snowball into the floor.
Wait, what? No!
Wow.
So whoever was over there with the device, who was there?
I
at
was.
this moment in
Reigel.
time. Okay, do you guys want to make a reflex save to try to catch the tiger?
Sure.
Shit.
Okay. Yeah, you both catch it. Give me a pair of athletics checks.
See, this is where it gets a lot less impressive.
Ooh. Ooh.
So unfortunately, both Regal and KL lose their grip. Snowball is pulled under the floor and the hatch closes.
Snowball!
Zara looks over from where she was, like, where'd Snowball go?
Down there.
You weren't too attached with that quadruped, were you?
Freya's gonna slap Kale.
Oh shit!
Like, of course I was attached to him! And then she's gonna go over to the machine and, like, slap it so it, like, takes her down, too.
It doesn't react to you slapping it. It looks like it's full.
What?
The
Freya,
central,
I think you have to lick it.
the glass tube in the center, you see Snowball float up into the glass tube in the center.
Oh.
Like, Snowball looks unconscious.
Freya's gonna shoot an arrow at the glass tube.
Uh-oh.
The arrow breaks on the glass.
She'll take her dagger and try to, like, break the glass open.
To start hitting the glass. Okay.
Yeah.
While you're beating on the bulletproof glass with your dagger, these little white mechanical arms in there are like grabbing Snowball, and they're like sticking syringes into Snowball and doing all kinds of stuff.
What are they doing to him? Snowball, are you okay?
It is a lab.
Not a-
Maybe it's experimenting on him.
I'm not like a better, stronger tiger.
Zara is staying out of slap reach from Freya.
Is this
Regal's just
like some
kinda
kind of
done
like
looking.
monitor?
It looks like some kind of monitor, yeah.
Okay, Freya will like go over to it and try to like press buttons on it or something.
You just start
like,
hitting stuff.
Oh
I just
no.
start
Brent,
hitting things.
Brent, you're gonna kill him. Stop.
The lights flicker, and you hear Snowball like cry out inside of the chamber. And then when the lights flicker, you can actually see Snowball's bones
Oh.
momentarily. Like, this.
Oh gosh.
Like an X-ray kind of effect.
Oh goodness. So
Spooky.
after seeing that, Freya will like stop hitting it and be like,
Then all the lights go off and the machine just shuts off. Snowball is floating in there looking transparent.
Snowball. Regal, throw a bomb at it.
I'm not doing that. As much as I'd love to blow shit up, I feel like even that would be too bad of an idea for me.
Fascinating.
We have to get him out of there.
Can we try to like make
Try to
like,
interpret
figure
the
out-
controls.
Exactly, yeah.
Give me like just an intelligence check to try to just reason out what the hell to do with this.
Oh, that's not bad.
Zara doesn't know.
Zara sure doesn't. Alright, examining the panel. Regal is able to reason out what looks like an eject sequence from like the symbology of it.
I saw Freya fucking around with it from the mashing she did. I'm like, okay, I think this will let him out, and he puts in the sequence.
Alright, the water starts draining out of the tube, and the tube lifts up, and Snowball collapses onto the floor, still looking transparent with like his bones visible like this.
Oh.
Oh my goodness. Snowball, are you okay? Can I see his health bar and everything? Does he look
Yep.
to be...
He seems to be full health, but unconscious.
Snowball? To like try to wake him up and shake him around?
When you touch Snowball, you take 1 electric damage.
Oh.
Oh.
And the quadruped seems to be conducting electricity.
Call him a quadruped.
Fascinating.
Snowball, baby, wake up!
You hear a voice over the intercom. It sounds like the old guy. What are you all messing with in there?
I think it's more accurate to say that it's messing with us.
Come to the command center at once. You're playing with dangerous things.
Well, Freya, I'd say you're team leader on this one.
When the tiger wakes up?
Yeah, I'm gonna wait a little bit longer to see if Snowball wakes up, but if he doesn't wake up soon, then she'll head out.
Yeah, the tiger seems to be out.
Maybe leave it here and come back on the way out?
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
head
carry
to
it.
the potion now.
It's at full health. What would a health potion do?
Nothing.
Does
Maybe-
it even have like a respiratory system? Does it just like pour through the rib?
Let's head to the command center. Maybe the old guy knows what's going on. God damn it, Snowball! Why do you have to fucking lick the thing?
We could stop at the mess tent real quick. I mean, the guy's not my dad. Doesn't tell us what to do.
Well, moving Snowball around is a hard prospect right now, it seems.
He shocked me.
Let's just
Alright.
get to the command center.
So you guys head out. You start heading towards the command center.
We
Um,
came.
Pretty soon you reach a wide open entrance that leads into what looks like the command center. And as you approach it, you hear music playing. Like playing on the speakers.
Okay.
Hello?
Once the party enters the command center, the doors slam shut behind you, and guns descend from the ceiling, like 20 of them in a circle, all aimed at you.
Oh, Reigel, tell your
Nope.
friends to stand down.
Nope.
We were invited.
Now we're going to talk, says the old man's voice. You know things you shouldn't know. Tell me who you are and how you've learned this. And how did you find this place?
My name is Freya. We have been on another Haven ship before. And have run into people who've misused the technology from it. Who used it again to fight against us. All I know is sometimes when I touch some of the technology from these ships, it reacts. And that one, I guess, modified person called me a princess. That's all I know. That's why I came here seeking answers.
A red mechanical eye descends from the ceiling and then begins to scan Freya, like going up and down her body. You're not lying. How on earth did you wake up from cryo? How many more are you?
I'm the only one, as far as I know. The journal I found said that he had tried to resurrect others, and they all perished.
Are all of the Vanir dead?
Vanir?
You don't know anything, do you?
I don't.
How old were you when you were frozen?
10, I believe. That's my earliest memory.
The guns retract into the ceiling.
Zara finally exhales.
This man emerges from a escape room on the opposite side of the command chamber. We should talk. I trust you are not here on behalf of those above, correct?
I'm here solely to find answers about what I've been told. No other.
Good. He's sort of being carried by a crane attached to the ceiling. It swivels him around to one of the monitors and he takes his seat. It's been a long time since I've talked to anyone but myself. I don't exactly know where to begin, but I suppose I'm entitled to fill you in.
Please do.
Are you?
I was an elf, but flesh fails. I needed more time. My name is Odin. This is an Aesir ship. You said you were Freya Azaria?
I am. Well, that's what I've been told at least. My name is Freya.
That was the current royal family of the Vanir kingdom before the fall. You must be from Haven 9 or 12?
I don't know. Think so?
The one we encountered was Haven 12.
Right, that makes sense. That was a Von Air personnel carrier. So you're saying you woke up how? Just on your own?
No, I believe a mage of some kind defrosted me.
With magic.
Of some kind. His notes were scribbles and madness.
Interesting. That had never occurred to me. This world system of power is a little bit inconsistent. I've dabbled with it in a limited capacity.
And Regal like approaches this dude, and he's like poking his like little backpack thing with all his spider legs. He's like,
Yeah.
how the hell does that work?
I don't think we have time for me to explain it.
Oh, are we short on time?
It would probably take one of your lifetimes for you to understand how this works.
I see.
You just don't have the background for it.
Try me.
I suppose you've answered my questions, so I'm willing to answer yours. But you probably have more pertinent and quicker to answer questions than how does my robotic exoskeleton work?
Yes. When we were in that lab, it did something to my tiger. Now he won't wake up.
Oh my. Did one of you touch the... Okay, alright,
My-
yes.
Yeah, my tiger might have licked it out of curiosity, I believe.
He'll be alright. He starts hitting keys on a keyboard.
We can see through his skin. Is that a permanent effect?
No, he'll be okay. Let me see what I can do to reverse this. Give me a moment. And a mechanical arm basically lowers Snowball from the ceiling and lays him down.
Oh well.
Odin takes out a syringe, taps it a couple times, and injects it into Snowball's forehead, like the middle of his skull. After a moment, his skin begins to become visible again. And Snowball slowly wakes up looking like this.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Snowball, buddy, do you feel alright?
Snowball kind of yawns and does like the long cat stretch and then lays down. I might be able to do something about the coloration if it bothers you. About 50 years ago, I was experimenting with the arcane elemental types that are available in this world. That was the last thing I did in the biolab before I abandoned that project. I'm not sure that I can do anything about the electricity.
Is he gonna shock me every time I touch him now?
He should be able to get a handle on that over time. Do you want me to see if I can restore his original coloration? It won't be easy.
I must say the pattern is rather fetching.
He's definitely unique looking now. I mean, if him looking like this doesn't hurt him, I don't mind.
It's of no harm to him. It's just a side effect of the device.
Well, then just leave it be.
Ooh,
Aww!
nice.
Oh, he's so cool looking.
Alright, let me go give him his electric damage now. He does 1d4 electric damage with his bite and claw now.
Oh, nice. That's very cool.
You're very lucky. None of you should be messing with any of that stuff. This could have been a lot worse.
Well, I entirely agree, which is why I'm keeping my hands entirely to myself while we're here.
What the hell are you doing here anyway? Are you by yourself?
Correct. I
What are you doing?
suppose that's a good enough question for me to answer. Our ship was also wasn't a personnel carrier, it was a science vessel. When we landed here, our first order of business was figuring out where we were, how we had gotten here. A large amount of the crew exited the ship and began to live their lives above it, intermingling with other species on this planet. A small amount of the crew stayed below deck. To avoid cross-contamination, we sealed it off. Anyone who left the ship couldn't come back. We who stayed behind continued to study this world and what had happened. Those who left over the generations slowly forgot where they came from. Over the centuries, this ship has been subject to attack by those above. I actually lost a lot of my colleagues in one of those attacks, although that was about 700 years ago. The time kind of runs together. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell what year it is. That's what I've got these devices for, anyway. I'm the last one. We started to take measures to prolong our natural lifespan. After a few hundred years, even our kind have a limit to our lifespan. But I suppose my prosthetics were the most successful model. I don't know how much longer I've got, but I'm the last one. My last colleague to pass, his exoskeleton failed about 250 years ago.
Been alone a long time then.
Indeed. I've considered opening the ship back up, but considering that those above have only killed us when we've come into contact with them, I have always talked myself out of it before I did it. I've managed to avoid detection for a long time. I've kept this place sealed up tightly. One of the reasons I've been studying magic for the last few hundred years was to see if I could create countermeasures so that I could safely make contact without fearing for my life. That was one of many projects that we've been working on for the last several centuries down here. Another was identifying what happened to our world and what this world is and how we got here.
Game over. Right?
Exactly. He pulls up a monitor when you say game over. And on the monitor, a symbol appears. And it looks like this.
Can you tell us about game over? And why is it happening on our world now?
Well, it certainly hasn't happened yet. What I can tell you is that we stopped using that term a while ago. The term that we've chosen is a phase shift. We discovered that we did not travel to a new world, nor did our world end. What happened is our world shifted into a new phase, and we landed on this new version of Exi. This symbol, he motions at it, appeared on every monitor in our world moments before the end. I don't know what it means. We've been scrutinizing this for a very, very long time to no avail.
Did I see that symbol anywhere in the room? The one that I peepholed through when I got my vision? Like in any of the boxes or on the skeleton's lab coat or anything like that?
No, you didn't.
And any Uzumog vision? I don't know if you ever saw that one before.
You've never seen it, no.
So you don't know what causes it.
No. However, we were able to make a breakthrough when it was 3 of us here. I'm 98% certain that we've identified that we are in phase 6 of XE. We've been able to learn very small amounts about the previous phases, and there seem to be remnants of those phases littered throughout the world. He pulls up a monitor, and the screen looks like this. We can't get any information on the first phase of XE. Overworld seems to be this number 6. Our world, Zeron, was the 5th phase. There was one previous to that. 2 before that. What we know about them is extremely limited.
Interesting.
If you don't know anything about what you call the first phase, how do you know it exists?
Because every time game over happens, it does damage. It does a measurable, consistent amount of damage to the space-time. In other words, XE does not have an infinite number of phases. Eventually, if it continues to shift into new phases, it will end. It's possible that this will be the last phase of XE.
What gives you that idea?
Because the damage that's been done is extreme.
How can you tell?
He kind of sighs. It would take me a very long time to put that in a way that you can understand. But I'll try. He pulls up a bunch of monitoring devices and machines. Okay, look here. So this line represents time, and this is space.
Okay.
We've noticed anomalies in our world, in Zeron, that were here. He pulls up a graph. Like, if you look at this graph and see where the lines coincide with one another, this is from before Game Over in Zeron. And you see these discrepancies here. These account for things like black holes, time distortions, things that we had to deal with back in Zeron. And then in Overworld, and he pulls up another graph, you can see that measurably the discrepancies have gotten larger.
Is there a way to repair the discrepancies?
I don't know, but they seem to mainly be manifesting themselves in the way that your planes interact. For example, you have something called the Hidden, where time flows differently than it does here. That's a result of the damage to space-time caused by the phase shift.
Well, we
We've
might
also
be...
been...
How thing?
Sorry, go ahead.
We might be able to bring an end to this cycle. Our party has been prophesized to either end or prevent game over, or cause it. So
I don't exactly put a lot of stock into prophecy. In any case, we're able to identify what phase something is from, which is how we've been able to piece together a very small amount of information about what these phases might be. For instance, housed in the vault here in the ship, we have a piece of a stone statue that we believe originates from phase 3. Only a finger. We can't know what it came from.
And how far back have the Haven in your species gone back in phase? You're just one phase, right? It's like the first time you've shifted.
Correct. Well, this is our first shift.
So
Yep.
they're from phase
We're-
5.
We're from phase 5. And I can show that to you pretty clearly. And the eye from the ceiling starts to like scan the party. And you see the computer is identifying like each person's origin. So it scans Freya, and it says that Freya is from phase 5. And then as it scans the members of the party, it's like phase 6, and it stops on New Moon and says that it's from phase 4. Well, that's interesting.
So we'll
says
take
Odin.
take out New Moon. Really?
It looks like that weapon is from phase 4.
Kind of give it a twirl. And say, well, that is very interesting. I had no idea.
I would very much like to analyze that if possible.
And Zara will sort of hold up New Moon and say, it seems to have a mind of its own. So it is entirely up to it. And Zara will just hold it like flat in her hand to see if it reacts in any way.
It doesn't go anywhere.
If it doesn't want to be scanned, then I can't, in good conscience, allow it to be.
That's dangerous. I'd very much like to know what this is. You don't know what you're carrying with you.
I would like to know as well. However, if I'm carrying it with me, I don't want it to be upset with me for disregarding its own wishes. It's almost a sentient being in its own right. What would this scan entail?
I just want to place it here. He motions to like a cubby under the computer with like a glass front. It's just more of an in-depth scan than what I gave you to try to identify what it is exactly.
When he face next the tiger, you owe him one.
So Zara will say to her weapon, like, it would be nice to know more about you. And she'll walk over to where the cubby is and sort of set it down and say, but if you return to me, I will respect your wishes. And she'll just like lift her hand up and take a step back.
All right.
Just want to make sure it knows I'm not forcing it to do this if it doesn't want to. Or if it's unwilling.
For a split second, every monitor in the command room shows this image.
Oh.
For like half of a second, and then it's gone because New Moon immediately flies out of the thing into your hand, like breaking through the glass to get back to your hand.
Oh.
Alright, I think that's our answer.
There was something there, says Odin. And he starts like typing. It wasn't there long enough.
That's why they call you Eclipse. They're gonna clip me.
Was it enough
think
for you
you
to
need
learn
to-
anything?
I think you need to be very careful with what you're carrying. Honestly, I think you need to leave it with me. We should put it in containment.
Well, I disagree. It seems to like staying with me.
You have something powerful and unpredictable, and you're using it like a common weapon. Make no mistake, the thing that you're holding is almost incomprehensibly older than you are, and is likely using you more than you're using it.
Very well, your warning is well received. I shall keep it in mind.
Pretty mysterious.
Alright, well, if you refuse to let me put it in storage, then
Yes.
just proceed with caution.
She nods slowly. I shall. Thank you very much for your counsel. But I've grown rather attached to it, and it to me. We're symbiotic in that way.
Foolishness.
Perhaps.
If I may ask you a question, sir,
Yes.
what does it mean that I'm, like, how am I different from another elf?
Well, the elves that populate Overworld are descendants from the Aesir scientists who left this ship. You are a Vanir, which simply is to say that you grew up on the other continent. Zeron had two continents, A sector and V sector. So, culturally and genetically, you are removed from these elves because you are from a different continent. But also, you are an exactly preserved example of our species from our phase, whereas the elves today are long removed descendants of the Aesir scientists who left this ship. Your friend as an example, he motions to KL. KL is likely descended many generations, 900 years worth of generations from the Aesir scientists who left this ship.
And quite a mighty fine specimen, I might ask.
Well, it does contribute to the high intellect found in elves on the Shining Isle. They're all descended from the best and brightest of Zeron. This was a research vessel. It's likely why they found such an easy grasp of magic. Magic seems to operate on very similar principles to science.
Real best and brightest. Here to hear first.
Oh, he's gonna hold that over our heads forever, isn't he?
Oh, yes, you are. Now tell me, is this ship powered on uranium?
It is, yes.
Do you have any spare?
Why would you be asking that?
Well, you see, the other ship that we found, her ship had like a bunch of relatives on board. She told me how much she missed. It's running very crucially low on power. If I could get a little more juice, I'd be able to, dig up her grandma.
The Vanir vessel is operational, and the frozen passengers are alive.
Not
That's
from-
correct.
Yeah.
It's very surprising to hear. I would be willing to lend the spare uranium I have to that cause. However, I did have something in mind for it.
I'm willing to hear it out if Freya will.
Yeah, of course.
Our armory is not operational at the moment. It would deplete my spare reserves to fire it up for one last time. Because you are a pure-blooded Vanir elf, the armory would fully equip you with predecessor armor and weapon.
Mm.
Ooh.
That would eat our uranium.
It would deplete my spare reserves. I would not have any extra to give you if I did this.
Oh, well, Freya sure would love the new dig. I don't think one person's equipment can compare to that of life of her civilization.
I only have a little bit to give you. You probably wouldn't be able to revive more than a few passengers out of the thousands that there are. There are 13 Haven ships in total, and I've confirmed they all landed back on Xe. I don't know how many of them are still operational, probably not many, but it's likely that they all have uranium reserves.
More than yours?
Possibly. I've been using mine.
Or possibly some of the ships that aren't functional anymore have plenty to spare that they're not using, or have no other use for.
Do you know the location of the other Haven ships?
I don't have data on that. I lost all communication with the other ships.
Well, I can continue to keep my ear to the ground for you, Freya.
I'd appreciate it. What would this armoring entail?
Well, when back on Zeron, when a Aesir soldier was suited up, so to speak, the armor and weapon were created specifically for them, and in some cases almost made, not so much just made for them, but made part of them in a way. The machine, the armory, does not have preset items. Instead, what it will do is identify your needs and build something around you.
That could be very useful.
The difficulty is going to be explaining it to the rest of the party.
Let's say we found something, I don't know. Well, I came here wanting to learn more about my people. I would like to fire up the armory.
Are you certain? This isn't something that you can undo. It will have permanent physical effects on your appearance as well.
I'm sure. We'll find more uranium. She'll look at KL and be like, we'll look for other ships.
Being better equipped would make more of a long-term goal of obtaining uranium more.
Very well. Snowball gets up and comes over and licks you. There's a little bit of static electricity.
Oh, Snowball.
While you're getting suited up, Odin kind of takes a look at Reigel's gun. This appears to be reverse engineered from one of our plasma rifles.
Sure was. Did it myself.
I might be able to offer some advice.
Oh, really?
I see some inefficiencies here.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So he'll work with Reigel on his gun a little bit, help
I
him.
always knew you were very inefficient, Reigel.
Shut up.
He did the best he could.
Inefficient, the doc said.
I'd like to see you do better, KL.
Guns aren't really my thing.
All right, Freya. So the armory opens up for you, and inside is a small black chamber with a circle in the middle for you to stand on.
Alright, I go and I stand in the circle.
All right. You hear the machine basically say that it's activating and tell you not to leave the circle.
Do not leave the circle.
Some metal arms attached to your wrists and ankles, and then you feel a syringe enter the back of your neck, and you black out.
Well, good luck leaving the circle now.
Like Minority Report.
I know you were thinking about it.
Well, while that's happening, while Freya's in the armory, Odin gives Reigel some tips, and he kind of moves some things around. He pulls out some spare parts and helps you out with it. Reigel, your alchemy gun gets a little bit of an upgrade here.
Ooh, little alchemy is no longer a super soaker.
It's a super laser.
Super soaker.
Mm-hmm.
Super duper soaker.
Feats which apply to alchemical bombs now also apply to the alchemy gun. So your alchemy gun has a splash equal to your int mod, and you can load it and fire as an action.
Oh,
Nice.
Ooh.
I don't know what any of that means, but ooh!
Means the stuff he can normally only do with his bombs, he can now do with his gun too.
Yep. It doesn't gain like the bomb effects, but your bomb feats apply to it.
neato.
Very neato.
Get a little bit more relevant again. I don't think I've ever seen you use that like the last like 3 or 4.
I used it in the water lady, in the water boss, quite a
Oh,
bit.
did you? Okay.
Did I? Maybe I didn't.
Now you're second guessing it.
No, I think I just threw bombs.
I call that a win in my book.
Wow, this is pretty darn good. Huh. Interesting. You know what you're doing, don't you?
Yes, well, what you've got there seems to be reverse engineered from our tech. He says reverse engineered like that's putting it nicely.
Yeah, it was broken when I found it. Let's be honest.
Repairing it with the tools available was quite a feat, let me tell you.
Race is naturally quite stupid compared to us higher intelligent elves. So it's fascinating that he's able to even achieve sentience to make that gun. So for that, I'll give him credit.
And Odin is like, I don't have a lot of data on goblins, so I'll have to take your word for it.
You're very dumb. Write that in your space book.
Don't be an asshole.
Isn't that the pot calling the kettle black?
The armor begins to open. Like steam comes out.
Ah, the moment of truth. Whoa.
Holy dang.
Wow.
Oh, damn.
That riot money is paying off. That legendary skin.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
Wow,
Oh,
Freya.
it's open.
Between you and KL, it seems like I'm going to be out of a job soon.
Here's the predecessor set.
+2 striking laser-sighted composite longbow. Ooh.
Doesn't require ammunition.
Ignores resistance or immunity to critical hits and precision damage.
Take that, slimes.
So your current bow armor and circuit board were consumed in the process of making this.
Oh.
Provide
darn good.
dark vision.
Nice. And highlights
Highlight
targets.
targets.
Oh, you can roll twice when you roll a flat check due to concealment.
Wow.
Nice.
And now there's almost no guarantee not to roll that 1 through 5.
Uh-huh.
Or 1 through 10, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah, awesome.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
So, because these are unique magic items, you can't put runes on them other than what's already on them, except for fundamentals, right? You can up the bonus. You can make it like better striking, better resilient, but you can only put fundamental runes on them. You can't put property runes on them.
Okay.
You do note though that the predecessor bow is laser sighted and the predecessor armor is powered, which are the two circuit board boss items.
It does a different thing than the powered. Does it?
Powered is in addition to that, and
Oh,
laser
wow.
sighted is in addition.
Oh,
It
I
is
see.
the bow is a +2 striking laser sighted longbow that also has the other effect. That's how unique items work.
Nice.
Unique items have some runes, but then also do other stuff. But she can never put more property runes on them. This
Even
is
if
it.
she improves the potency rune.
That's how it works. Same with
Mm.
Eclipse.
Okay.
You cannot put more property runes on Eclipse.
But I
ever.
could switch out like the striking rune for greater striking.
Yes, you can
Okay.
put fundamental on it, but you know Eclipse has returning.
Yeah, gotcha.
That's it. So like the predecessor bow is laser sighted, the armor has powered, but that's it because
Right.
it does other stuff. You can't put more properties on it.
Gotcha. Okay, makes sense.
So this consumed your circuit board. I have no idea where you. Wait, there's no way you still have liquid mana. Get that out of here.
Whoops.
Where did you put?
She had the laser sight.
She didn't have the laser sight yet.
Oh, she didn't?
Where was
Okay.
where
Not
was your
yet.
circuit board? Whose character sheet was?
I don't think I ever even wrote that down.
I don't
think
think I wrote it down. Yeah.
So you basically
Alright.
got 2 circuit board upgrades from that. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it consumed your current bow and armor along with all their runes and the circuit board.
Pretty fucking neat looking.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh.
Freya does look a lot different now.
Space elf.
Mm-hmm.
Space elf.
You cannot be mad at us for calling you Space Elf anymore, Freya. Look at you.
Okay. Yeah.
If you don't like the unique items in the look, you can retcon this. I don't want to back you into it. I did give you lots of like warnings about it.
No, I love it.
Okay. All right, we're sticking with it. I just don't
Yeah.
want to. I don't like back anybody into a corner where like it's your character. But yeah, okay, cool. Well, there you go then.
This is awesome.
So then your bow is a +2 striking. I'm just gonna put predecessor bow
Yeah, that's
Um,
fair.
because that's simpler than the huge ridiculous amount of. So you now have +2 resilient predecessor armor. It's so long, the actual all of what it does. So your armor item bonus goes up. It's chainmail, so it's a different type of armor.
It
So
is.
your armor stuff is a little different now. So it's actually the AC bonus would be 4, but the dex cap is 3. So yeah, your AC ends up going up by 1. You have an item bonus to saves now.
It's a composite longbow. Was your longbow a composite before?
Mhm.
It was.
Okay.
It's got a slightly longer range.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So let's see here. And it's got the range penalty is halved because of the laser sight, and then the damage is force now. Where do I put that?
You can only
There's, like,
select
no-
bludgeoning, piercing, slashing for it.
Yeah, there's actually not an option, so we're just gonna have to put Well, does this even work? Okay.
If you put it like before plus CS versus hunted prey, you say force plus CS versus hunted prey.
It would the plus is not typed in there.
Oh, okay.
So what we're gonna have to do is just know that it does force.
I can see it like marked on my character sheet now, so I'll
Mhm.
remember it.
Yep.
Yeah, it stays there even when I.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, I think that's all of it. Oh, you have dark vision now,
Woohoo!
and you roll twice when someone's concealed. Yeah, but no, it's like Eclipse or the trident. What is it? You guys have access to a boss item now that's like a trident
Mm-hmm.
that does a special thing.
Yeah, I did not realize before that these things could not have their property runes upgraded or changed.
No,
Good to know.
you cannot add property runes or change the property runes on a unique item, on a unique magic item, as a balancing factor for them having above and beyond effects.
Yeah,
Like
no problem.
Eclipse,
Good to know.
Eclipse does like fucking 5 different things.
Yeah,
It's
it
crazy.
does have a couple.
It does
couple
so
things.
many things. Yeah. turning, and it blinds people, and it gives you a bonus to stealth, and it basically is already fully loaded with property runes, essentially. All right. The exception is the deific items, like the Bow of Ving. Even though they're unique magic items, I'll allow property runes on those because they're like god weapons. So those break the rules.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
I'm a space elf. This is not at all what I had in mind when I made this character, but hey, it works.
Quite the transformation.
That's what happens when you give me a blank slate.
I'm super happy. Thank you.
Alright, well, it cost you your circuit board, all your runes and weapon and armor, and also uranium, so the party had to make a notable sacrifice.
Uranium, yeah.
Yeah, you had to give up the uranium for this too.
Oh,
You could have gone back to the Haven 12 and revived a bunch of people.
See, the tiger I might have been able to explain to the guild. This is going to be a little more tricky, though.
Yeah.
I did a lot of work over this downtime.
Odin shows you how to retract the visor, and he gives you a blue cape to wear over the sci-fi armor, so it just kind of looks like a weird hood. The bow is a little harder because it's very big.
Does it retract into a purse or something?
Well, no. I mean, probably I would say that these look like hinges to me, so the sides can probably fold. So at least you could put it on your back and maybe cover it with a cloak.
I can probably come up with a disguise that'll cover the armor and possibly the weapon as well.
Yeah, I mean the bow probably folds because those look like big hinges to me. Yeah.
Yes, I think I can definitely work around this to let you blend in a little more.
Space Elf.
It is very unique.
You're gonna have to let me take a look at this stuff.
I will.
Just add it to your already super long to-do list, Reigel.
Another drop in the bucket.
I'm just checking Regal's alchemy gun. You've got the +4 in there now, right? Nice.
Yeah. And then the +1 for the fire version for my burn it feat from Goblin.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. And then
I think that was it. That was the only change. But 4 more damage is 4 more damage. That's a lot easier to use now that I can load it and fire in the same action.
Yeah, and it'll stretch out your bombs, leaving more damage.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Alright. I think it actually has higher average damage than your bombs.
Yeah, it just doesn't do the splash damage, right?
It's just added damage. It doesn't do the effect. It doesn't have an AoE. It doesn't
it doesn't light them on fire or anything.
Or make them flat-footed. Yeah, and there's no AoE. It's target. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
All right.
Zara will say to New Moon, "Don't worry, I respect your decision and your right to choose. I respect my weapon's freedom."
Odin just kind of looks concerned, alright, but you don't know who or what it is that you're talking to, so...
Is everything from Aerofort dangerous, or do you just have a bad feeling about this particular?
I just know that everything can be dangerous. if you don't know what something is, then there's a potential for great harm.
I wouldn't think a scientist would fear the unknown.
I'm cautious of the unknown. It's why I'm still alive.
Well, I'm more of a risk taker. Part of my nature, I guess.
The fact that that weapon doesn't want me to analyze it is very concerning.
Well, I don't imagine Snowball wanted to be altered the way that he is, but look how it turned out.
Snowball did this of his own accord. He shouldn't have licked things. Snowball, we learned not to lick things.
Meow. Meow.
No.
Meow.
You're not getting any fish tonight. Only veggies.
I don't know if I want to piss off the tiger cat that's electric.
How is he gonna learn? Well, thank you for this new armor. Seems very sturdy.
Well, it's the least I can do for probably the only other surviving person from our world.
So far.
The channels are all dead. If there are any ships out there with living inhabitants, they aren't communicating.
Well, we will do what we can to find them.
If we do run into anyone else, like in another Haven ship, would you like us to tell them about you, or would you prefer to remain anonymous?
I would very much like to make contact with others of my kind, while I still have time. However, I would not get your hopes up. I am aware the Haven 7 are the only ships.
Lost you. Was it just me, guys? Or... Can anybody else hear me? Hello?
Okay, no one lost me but you. Everybody could hear both of us.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Okay,
Weird.
cool. I did a long-range scan for other ships, and the Haven 12 is the only one I picked up. That means there's no other Haven ship within what you would call the Allied territory. Considering how much damage a kingdom of essentially my own people did to my ship and my colleagues, I shudder to imagine what has happened to the Haven ships that landed in less hospitable territory. My point is that logically, your chances of finding a survivor are a lot lower when we're talking about a ship that landed out there in the worst parts of this world.
And are we on ship 7 then, Odin?
Yes, this is Haven 7, correct.
How long you got?
I can't know. I expect that I will probably die within this century.
Nonetheless, I'm sure, I at least, and I can probably guarantee KL and Reigel, we're going to, well, if we find other Haven ships, we'll be investigating them, and if we find anyone else from our world, I will let you know, and let them know of you.
Thank you. I know you don't have any memory of Zeron, or I suppose you should call it Phase 5, but it was a good place with good people, and they didn't deserve what happened to them. And I know there's a lot of good people here in Phase 6 who don't deserve what's coming for them.
There is.
You should be careful. The timing is about right for this to happen again. It's one of the reasons I've been pushing so hard to stay alive, using everything at my disposal to keep myself here. So that maybe I can prevent it from happening. Or failing that, at least witness it.
We will. I don't know what to think of all this. How
If
would
there
we-
is... Sorry.
No.
Damn.
Somebody talk!
Who will win?
It's rock, paper,
If there
scissors
is-
for it.
If there is a Phase 7 at all, I don't know if it will be able to sustain life.
Well, we'll do everything we can to make sure Phase 6 persists.
I hope that Princess of Flowers is right and we can stop it. And not that we're going to cause it.
Well, if we die before then, I think we can safely assume that we were meant to stop it. So you said that there was no other ships within the Allied Kingdoms that, aside from this one and Haven 12?
Correct.
Very well. I'll keep my ears to the ground once we leave the areas.
Thank you.
If there is some kind of creator who's making, or I guess remaking this world each phase, each world that's made is a little bit more broken, a little bit worse off. I'm concerned that this is not sustainable, and I don't know how or why this is happening, or who or what is doing it, but if for whatever reason you can't save Phase 6, maybe you can at least maneuver things so that Phase 7 will be able to sustain life. Maybe they'll be able to overcome it.
We will do everything in our power.
He reaches over onto his desk and picks up a skull. It looks like an elf skull. This was one of my colleagues. We still share notes.
How?
I suppose it's a coping mechanism.
Ah, makes sense.
Okay.
I guess my point is, and he puts the skull down in front of you guys, we're all temporary. So what matters is what we leave behind. The impact that we have after we're gone. Because eventually, everyone in this room will be gone. That's the way I see it anyway.
Eventually, but what's important is that we pave the way for those who come after.
I agree.
and then we have a good time.
If your purpose for coming here was just to find the uranium, I suppose I've already given you what I can. If you have any further questions, I'm at your disposal. But once you leave, I will have to seal the ship back up for my own protection.
We understand.
You know who tried to break it down a couple hundred years ago? Saw the damage on the front door.
A nation of descendants of my own kind who've forgotten who they are, wielding powerful destructive magic.
What were they hoping to achieve by breaking down the front door?
Perhaps it was curiosity, perhaps it was fear.
Well, at any rate, your secret is safe with us. We will not share knowledge of this place with anybody.
I'm glad.
Thank you for, I guess, filling me in on the world I came from. This is just all so weird. She'll look down at her armor again, just like, oh.
Don't worry, I'll fashion you something covering and flattering.
It'll be handy to be able to see in the dark, though. I'm excited for that.
Oh, I can confirm, it is quite magnificent.
Is this whole party just a bunch of people who have somehow gained the ability to see in the dark?
Correct.
Except Reigel.
Everybody but Reigel. This is the sketchy party now. What the hell?
Yeah, we're the sketchy party.
We're the illegal goods, questionable ethic, questionable background, spooky cultist party.
Sorry, Freya, you're now part of the shady ones. Welcome to the club.
Club Shady.
She's not quite lawful anymore, I think.
I have no more questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Very well. I'll see you out.
Sorry, Snowball, no more pettings for you, I'm afraid.
Oh, you'll get control of his sparkiness.
I would be careful if I were you when you leave this place. There are those who really want me and my kind and my ship to remain secret.
We know.
Hey, you got any spare stuff lying around I could tinker with? You know, just in my free time.
What free time, Reigel?
I'll make time.
No, you're
Straight
welcome
to the
to. You're welcome to help yourself to my storage of spare parts, but none of it's functional. I've actually had to turn the robotic crew of this ship to harvesting ore from above so that I can fix and replace vital parts of the life support system.
Oh, we wondered why they were harvesting.
To maintain the ship, parts corrode over time.
Well,
of course, makes
I'm
sense.
used to not working with the best of equipment.
And he does wonderful work with it, too.
Alright, Reigel. You kind of head down to the bottom of this place, and you find lots of high-tech scrap. What sort of thing are you looking for?
I don't know, just kind of like technology that Reigel is not familiar with.
Just in
Maybe
general.
like a jetpack or something.
Yeah. Look for some gold and platinum bars while you're down there, or rods. Finally, not be broke as a.
We can actually make some money on this quest.
Yeah. Other than
Without having to sell Freya's bow.
Alright, you can just add like techno junk to your inventory. You don't really know what any of it does. Just a bunch, just as much as you can carry.
Would more carrying capacity be of use to you, Regal?
Yeah, because I'm pretty much at my limit. So if anyone's willing to pitch in,
I've
help me
got you.
carry some shit.
I've got you covered. I'm going.
Actually, I'm gonna save, or I saved my my one, what's it called, the
Jury rig.
jury rig. And I'm gonna jury rig a bag of holding.
Oh, there you go.
Oh wow, you can do that.
What kind of let's see. What level of bag of holding can you make? 'Cause it'll
It is
determine.
the basic bitch one.
Okay.
It's 25 bulk worth of stuff.
What level is Regal?
Oh wait, am I not high enough level for that?
You
yet?
have to be level 8.
No.
Don't worry, Regal. Don't worry. I've still got you covered. I'm going to pull out my feather token chest and activate that. It turns into a chest that can carry 10 bulk worth of items.
Oh,
And when
There
it's,
you go.
And when it's closed, it turns into a key.
interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I'm
then
gonna
if
give
that
him a
key is
nod.
then turned as if in an unlocking motion, it turns back into a chest with all the stuff in it.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really cool.
And then once it's closed again after that, it's gone forever. But
Oh.
Oh.
it can be
Are you
used
sure
for
you
a
wanna use
one-time
that?
transfer. Oh yeah, it doesn't cost a whole lot.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
give
well,
him.
I'm planning to learn to make more anyway.
Alright, Regal, put 10 bulk worth of techno junk on your inventory. I figure you guys will get that back to the guild hall and just put it in the room or something.
Yeah.
Like
Or
Or
team lift.
it can keep it in the chest until you're ready to actually use it.
True.
Regal's gonna grab 5 bulk more, just to maximize his bulk. Right now he's at 6, which is the limit for his encumbered state. He's gonna go beyond that to the maximum.
Okay, so 15 bulk worth of techno shit.
Yeah, a chest feather token only costs 10 gold. It's fine.
Oh, that's not bad. I'll pay you back.
Thank you. And I'm planning to learn to make more of them.
Oh, that's a handy little thing.
I think, if I recall, Zara was gonna become an artificer at like level 12 or something anyway, so, or level 14 or whatever. So you could jury rig worn items.
Mhm.
So
Oh.
that could be the payback. Long
Long
payoff.
con. Long con. Or
Long
is it
time, like,
10 gold or wait till I'm level 14. You choose.
I don't know, whatever level the worn item thing is for artificer. I remember that was a discussion. Let me see. It's 10th level actually. Only 10th level.
Oh.
You guys are actually kind of close.
Oh.
Yeah. Because that'd be so Zara as like
Mhm.
the tailor to be able to jury rig up like an amulet for something or whatever.
If you want, you can have the non-magical bag of holding, and it'll just give you a bag.
The sack.
There you go. There's my contribution.
Okay. Well, are you guys gonna head out of here?
Yes, I was gonna save that chest feather token for the uranium if we wanted to take it with us, but this seems to work.
And this will do, I suppose.
Yeah, I'll have another one by the time we need to carry uranium anywhere, I guess. Staying prepared. I like my feather
Nice.
tokens.
Yeah, they've all been really cool.
Once you guys leave, the metal door is sealed behind you.
Alright, now to get out of here without being detected, and then we're home free.
Very well.
Kale, you got that under control?
KL, give me 5 counteract checks.
Oh, God.
I like that everyone gets something, and I get to lose all my hero points.
Hey, I didn't get anything. It's okay.
Alright. Maybe you and I want to go get like a mani-pedi after this quest. And,
You got like a whole archetype and a makeover like just last
2
week.
sessions ago.
I had the
oh,
opportunity to be
Two
stripped
sessions
of
ago,
my.
you got a new token and archetype.
I had the opportunity to lose my favorite weapon here, but I turned it down.
Okay, you're good. Everyone's all set.
Ooh,
much
okay.
better this time around. I like. Okay, I get the
Yeah.
hang of this spell now. Huh?
All right, so you guys are backtracking, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of climb your way up here.
All right. This is
Into,
looking familiar. There we go.
You reemerge in the cavern. That's been mined out by Odin's little robots.
Let's see if we
Oh
can
yeah,
find
I
the
should
breach.
add
we
that
made.
to the add that to our little list there. There you go.
We met a new character.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot that Thrandell wasn't revealed. There we go.
Oh, hey
Anyway.
Dad. Hey Dad, thanks for showing up.
I'm just making it so it's revealed to everybody.
Can you see where I get my wonderful good look?
Is that where that forehead bump came from?
That's right.
That extra
get all my-
brain.
All my good looks from Mom.
Alright, well, let's make our way back to the breach that we made in the wall at least. Make our way back to the ship.
All right.
What were we gonna tell the goblin when we were supposed to look for diamonds and you walk out wearing a spacesuit?
I don't think we need to tell him anything. His lips are
So-
sealed.
Riker is asleep on his boat.
I'm not getting back in one of those barrels.
I mean, if he has all these
I'll take
non-detection
the barrel.
runes,
You can have the magic chest.
if he has all these non-detection runes, why do we need to be in a barrel anymore? All right, you can sneak in a barrel, Freya, before he even wakes up.
Sure. Freya will go get in a barrel.
Nice. You won't even know.
The cat gets in the big crate.
Or I can throw together a disguise for you. Something to cover up what you've got. I have my tailor's kit with me.
I might wake him up. Just sneak into a barrel.
I'm just gonna go into a barrel.
Okay.
All right.
So's the cat.
All right, and once she's safely tucked away, I will make a loud entrance.
What do you do?
I'm just gonna like bang my stick on the boat and say, "Oh, that'll do, Captain. Ports
Okay.
away."
He wakes up. He's like, ah, whoa.
Ah.
Welcome back.
Watchful vigilance over us as we traverse the caves. I see.
You get your diamonds.
We got what we
Fortunate.
came for.
Unfortunately, no diamonds down here.
Dang.
Just a lot of iron ore.
Okay. Well, get in. Let's get out of here.
All right, vamos.
All right. Does everybody barrel up?
Zara is not. Zara's like
Right,
adamantly
so
refusing.
Riker's like, you gotta get in the barrel.
Why though? See, I
So you're not detected.
dang, Slippery Secrets doesn't do that for me, darn it.
I'll pick my head out of the barrel. Come on, get in the barrel. I'm going to go back into my barrel.
Quit being difficult and just get in
wait,
here.
so you're saying that being on the surface on the top of the boat allows you to be detected? Then why aren't you?
No. You gotta get in the barrel so you're not seen.
Oh, I have my tailor's kit. I can make a disguise for myself. I won't be recognized.
Can't you just disguise yourself as a barrel with your armor?
Oh, that's right. Poof.
Okay,
Why didn't I
become
think
a
of this?
barrel.
Why didn't I fucking think of this?
Yeah.
I knew Reigel was the
well.
smart one.
I guess that'll work.
This is much better.
Right. So, the trip back to Wavecrest is a little bit more pleasant on account of the fact that you're in a pretend barrel and not a real one. Everyone else is in real ones, though.
Mhm.
And pretty soon you're back at Wavecrest.
Alright, thanks again. We're just gonna take our barrel and our box and we'll be out of here. Thank you. Have a great...
Alright. I need my barrel back.
Alright, we'll bring it back.
That's my barrel. What are you
I
doing?
owe you. Here we go.
No, that's my barrel. Where you
Bring
going
the
with my
barrel to the
barrel?
guild hall.
What are you talking about? I can't
This
take
is
my barrel.
stupid, Freya says, and she pops out of the barrel. It's like, alright, let's go. Just steps out of it and starts walking towards the guild hall.
Alright, bye, says Riker, who doesn't remember what Freya looks like.
Would you like a
Alright,
cloak,
well-
Freya?
I have a cloak.
Okay.
Yeah, Odin gave her like
Okay.
a blue cloak to go over it.
All right.
So you can have the bow folded on your back under the cloak.
Mm-hmm.
You look weird, but not any weirder than the goblin with a shoulder-mounted rifle. Like,
Don't worry. When I have some time, I'll put together a more fashionable disguise for you.
or the elf with like a giant fucking popped collar and.
Collar, that's right.
The pop collar to end all
them
pop
in a car.
collars.
Slap them at incredible speeds and achieve liftoff as in Batwing.
Reminds me of the villain from Aladdin.
I will show you the world this way.
Alright, you guys are heading back to the guild hall.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you get there without any trouble. Oh, roll 20 is doing what it does.
So Freya, if anyone asks, how are we going to explain this when it eventually comes up?
We found weird stuff and Reigel made me armor out of it.
Seems good enough to me.
I'll say I had a hand in it, so I don't have to act jealous that that you got another tailor as well. Glances at KL.
You designed it, he crafted it.
I will take it.
And Snowball fell into a pit of acid or something, I don't know.
Some magical nonsense, maybe a ley line.
I'm sorry, what? I don't think acid does that.
I think Snowball found an arcane ley line and fell in. Would not recommend.
Made friends with the electric...
Electric
Thing.
eel. Oh yes.
Why did you say he stuck his paw in a toaster and this is what happened?
KL started experimenting.
I don't blame that tiger on me. Yelling at something I want nothing to do with it.
Well, this was in the middle of downtime, so the rest of the party is probably out doing downtime.
Yeah.
Anything else you all want to do?
If we could add 2 days to the downtime so Zara can finish her retrain, I might actually be able to do a little bit more damage to the boss when we get to it.
What is the retrain?
Training out my distracting feint, replacing it with my poison weapon things. I'm 2 days away from a retrain.
I'm not gonna give everybody 2 days, but I'll
Okay.
just give you that because you've retrained 800 times.
Okay, all right.
Enough.
I'll hold those IOU retrain days for later.
I'll just give it. No, you don't have to worry about it. I'll just give it to you. But like, oh my goodness.
I do have 5 retrains already, or 5
You gave
retrain
Mark
days.
the full handout of what he can do in downtime, right? You didn't just give him a piece of paper that says,
It says
retrain
retrain.
and hand it to him. And he's like, okay, this is what I will do, and that's all.
No, I've needed to correct Zara's
I
build a
can do
lot.
this.
But I took the 5 days of downtime here to retrain, so I'll spend 2 more another time to finish it.
Roseanne 2 days of downtime. That's a hefty promise.
Yeah, thank you, Zan. I'll go ahead and make that replacement then.
Mhm.
next time we have a boss to fight.
I don't know.
Exciting.
We're actually gonna finish on time. I'm
A-
waiting for the
A
trap.
boss that created something that spells and attacks just seem to bounce right off of.
I go up one more step and look around. Go up another step, look around, and do this thing there.
What are you
It's
talking about?
it's what's his face from Pulp Fiction? That meme.
I take another step and look around. Like he said, there are people after him. They must know. I'm like super paranoid. Like, oh, I got the steps.
Yeah, I mean, we're done. When you guys go to sleep that night, though, Zara has an interesting dream that I'm gonna leave us off on here.
Oh, of course I do. It's a day that ends in Y.
So Zara, you wake up here, on the edge of this cliff,
Oh my.
and it looks like New Moon is also here, just standing, watching you from a distance.
So, sort of gently smile towards him. Say, so, phase 4, huh? Very cool. I hope you're not upset with me.
You've done well. This world suits me. We're going to do great things together.
I look forward to it.
Oh no!
Oh my god! You fucking kidding me. Oh man. You did this, Gwen. You did this.
We're going to the desert where I buried my 4 gods. They must be alone to achieve something that I can't remember, but something happened when the 4 people were.
Oh god.